doubt is one of the most difficult concepts to overcome when it comes to understanding where it's sabotaging versus productive. Because doubt is a tool of the mind used to test veracity of, and the truth of a situation or what have you. What that looks like when it's used in a way that's destructive is that it justifies inaction. It justifies perpetual analysis and inquiry without essentially allowing for action to be taken as a result of that inquiry. It's the kind of, you run into the forever recursion. Well, what does that mean? Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? And you do that forever and ever and ever, again, while sitting in the same place. Doubt shows up in a lot of ways, and ways that are intellectually defensible, like I want to learn more, or I want to go grab more information to come to a better answer here, or I don't know enough. And that's where it gets really difficult because, like you may have heard in other sort of religious texts or in the work of people like Alan Watts, you can't taste your own tongue. Using the mind to undo the mind is very difficult, if not impossible. So when doubt kicks in and turns into these other things or becomes subversive, it's very difficult to detect when it's legitimate or when it isn't. So when it's being selectively deployed, though, there are some sort of signs, right? So how do I know if my doubt is essentially being used to justify an action? Well, first things first, if you knew the answer, if there was an answer, would it make you afraid to take action? If the answer to that is yes, then there's a good chance that your doubt is being used to hold you back. Like the other tests, this is kind of a great first step. Like, if I knew how to solve this problem, would I have the courage to do it right now? Am I, terrified of the outcomes here that the truth of this situation creates? When we start down this path and continue that sort of inquiry, there may be some other indicators or symbols where this doubt has become more of a driver than it should be. One of those would be if the situation that you're currently sort of investigating requires, you're trying to get more answers than you normally would relative to other questions of a similar nature. You are looking for more details or more justification, or the rabbit hole just keeps going deeper, and you continue to pursue that. There's a good sort of sense there that perhaps you're just chasing doubt to avoid moving forward. Another sort of test or indicator for this might be, how long have I been doubting this situation? How long have I been investigating what's going on here, and essentially using that doubt as a weapon relative to the sort of pace at which action is required? Again, this gets back to a little bit like the uncertainty masquerading as patience. Doubt might do the same. When you're looking through the sort of mental landscape here, and you are identifying the things that are holding you back, there's a good chance that if you can't label it as fear and you can't label it as uncertainty, that doubt is kind of the last piece. But these are levels of abstractions. Fear is pretty direct, right? And so when fear translates, it translates oftentimes to those super aggressive emotions, strong ones. When uncertainty kind of transmutes into virtue in a lot of ways. And doubt just kind of looks like perpetual sort of appreciative inquiry. And so we want to make sure that as we go through this process, We take these things that were happening, and again, this doesn't delegitimize, doubt itself as a function. But when it becomes pathological, when it's interfering with your ability to solve problems, when you need to have more specificity than the environment or the situation allows, you're using doubt to stay still. And in fact, that is counter to your interests. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in tomorrow's episode, which is the kind of the three ruffians in action, and why we all struggle as much as we do with some of these more obvious emotions, and what it looks like across the board.